Hello and welcome to Road to 500K, the channel that will hopefully try to help you guys, those of you who are fresh out of high school, college, trade school, or any other school or education system that has left you without any wealth. I believe that I am providing a unique perspective upon the financial landscape, and I think I'm filling a void that maybe quite a few of you are looking for inside of that community. And that is the perspective of somebody who is actively going through the troubles, the financial troubles, and the struggle to build wealth that many of us young people often do. So, in this channel, I aim to talk about strategies in terms of investing, debt consolidation, building savings accounts, just regular savings accounts. I know that a lot of people have a lot of trouble setting aside money month to month or across the year to set away inside of a savings account. And I think that there are better ways to handle your money than putting them in savings accounts. But I am a relatively new person to the field of financials, so I am going to try to learn as much as possible because I don't know that much about the financial world, because I'm 22 years old, straight out of college, and I have no experience with wealth because I've never held a steady job, and I have never ever had any more than maybe a couple $1,000s in the bank at any given time, most of which went towards rent, food, utilities, gas. You understand the struggles that are college or high school or trade school, whatever your case may be. So, in this series, I hope to kind of explain my mission, which is to help you guys and to follow along with you as you are transforming inside of your financial journey. And explain my name so that I can kind of give you guys an idea of what the future is to look like. Alrighty, let's get started with the first episode, which will just be kind of basics, some information about me so that you guys... So, a little bit about myself. I graduated from Xavier University in this spring and May of 2018, where I studied chemistry. And I know that this may give me a slight advantage in terms of quantitative skills, but I have a feeling for the most part financials is mostly addition and subtraction. So as long as you can wrap your head around some of the concepts that financials has to offer, the mathematics shouldn't be too difficult. Besides the chemistry, I did actually take a couple of business classes. One was marketing, which I don't think has a whole lot of financial skills unless you're marketing yourself for a job, which does have some advantages, but I think that many people can learn this from just a quick browse online in terms of marketing yourself for certain things. The other class that I took was accounting, and I don't think that financial accounting has a significant role in the financial world, or I should say the personal finance world. It might give me a slight advantage in terms of taxes and knowing exactly what everything means, just basically for my own sanity or my own knowledge. So I don't think that those are going to affect my base knowledge of the personal finance world whatsoever. Because of this perspective, I think that I can offer you guys one thing that a lot of other people cannot, and that is the fact that I am a fresh slate, and I am going to try to study as hard as possible and try to learn as much as I can while working a job and recording these YouTube videos so that you guys can sort of absorb the information that I pick up so that I can condense it for you. So, I guess one of the biggest things that you can do in order to learn a lot about the personal finance world is to start reading books or listening to ebooks on the subject. I think that though I am offering a perspective from somebody who is completely new, who is going through this step by step, I think that looking at people who have already succeeded or who have failed as well in the past, and I know that a lot of them, a lot of the financial advisors have failed at one point in time, especially one of the biggest gurus of all time, Dave Ramsey. Um, and so I think that we can learn from a lot of those failures and successes that some of those people have had, and so I would recommend starting there um, and using my channel as a sort of encouragement or supplemental guide to learning your financials more than what you might just try to learn on your own. It's very difficult to go through the internet, and despite the fact that everybody says that you can learn anything on the internet, which is true, it's somewhat difficult to just go to a website that has plain text and try to force feed stuff to yourself. So I am here to sort of do some of the legwork for you and give you somebody who you can measure your own progress off of. Or, in fact, one thing that I would recommend is that you maybe take my experiences throughout this video series as a guide, but don't compare yourself to me, because if I am doing worse than you, then I want you guys to jump ahead, keep going ahead, try to see if you can figure out something that I haven't, and I want you to let me know what has caused you to succeed in recent times. If you're lagging behind, then I want you to go at your own pace. It's, not everybody makes the same amount of money, which is perfectly okay. Not everybody starts out in the same position. I know that I don't have very much debt. I paid my way in terms of my housing costs and my transportation and food costs through college. My parents paid for my college, but in return, I used my abilities from learning how to do some construction in my teenage years, just from my dad, to help them fix up one of their rental properties to get it on the market. So I don't feel like I am leaving them completely lost with all of this debt, because I have given them something in return. So if you feel bad about your parents paying for your debt, or if you feel, I guess, maybe like you should be contributing somewhat, maybe try to find other ways other than monetary methods to help them pay it. And I know that as soon as I start getting regular paychecks, it's going to be me giving them some money so that they can start paying it off a little bit quicker. So do what you can. That's a big thing. That's the first lesson that I can tell you, is that I know that one of the biggest things that you can mess up in the financial world is not consolidating your debt. And so the entire point of this channel is just doing what you can when you can. So I hope to help you guys through the journey. But otherwise, I'm going to give you guys just a little bit of a sneak peek in my financials. I've got a spreadsheet going. It'll probably get heavily revised quite often as I start to make more money and start to figure out more how I think the spreadsheet should look. And it's not going to be anything complicated. It's going to be input numbers, like how much I've made, and then how much I need to pay or have paid. And it's just going to be a simple subtraction from the needs to be paid column from the I guess the assets column or the cash column, and that'll kind of give you an idea of where I am financially. So let's jump right into it. I'll show you guys exactly where I'm at right now. Alright guys, here's a simple spreadsheet that I created. It includes my cash, my debts, net worth goals, the difference between my goal and my net worth, as well as a spreadsheet here, or I guess a little chart here that shows my the hours that I've worked right here in this column, the daily pay right here in this column, and the weekly pay to date. This is just to keep track of the money that I'm making and I'm making $14 an hour as an analytical chemist, a temporary analytical chemist for a rubber company. So, as you can see, my cash, $25.36. Most of this is going to be in actual cash, right, as opposed to money inside of a bank account. My debt, $767.15 on my credit card, and my net worth of negative $650.79. So, compared to some people, my debts are relatively low. This is mostly just from towards the end of college, when I was focusing on finals, wanting to finish it out without having to worry about work. Charged a lot inside of my credit card. So this is easy money to get rid of. I can get rid of this within the next 2 weeks or so. My goal is going to be $1,000 starting out. I think I'm going to multiply my goal by 5 every single time until we start getting somewhere around 500,000. Each time it'll get even harder and harder, and weeks will go by where I'm not getting nearly as close to it as I'd like. It'll start out at 5,000, then go to 25,000, and then 125,000, and finally by the end it'll be around 625,000. But I think I'm going to cap it at 500,000 just because that's going to be my goal. I may do that a little bit differently and make the goal ramp up a little bit slower so that I have something to reach that's more attainable in a shorter amount of time. But right now the difference is 1650.79. So let's go ahead and try to reach that goal within the next few weeks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do goal date to attain, and I'm going to just extend this box here, and let's try to make this by, let's say, August 1st. How about that? That sounds like a good date. Oops. Hopefully by the 1st I will have a full-time job lined up after this temporary job that I have. But if I do not, then I will still be working here until I can find a job that suits me. As of right now, my expenses are fairly low. I'm living back with my parents. I typically pay for myself when I go out to eat or go drinking, but for the most part, a lot of other things are paid for by my parents. I mean, I have no rent. They typically allow me to eat some of their food. I mean, I'm typically responsible for buying soda, or at least we switch on and off between each other because I go through a lot of soda. But I have very little expenses, which is good for an hourly rate of $14 an hour. That means a lot of that money gets pocketed. I can save it, but I have a feeling now that I've started this job, I'm going to have to start paying for some other things. So let's see how it goes. You guys can follow along if you'd like. You can just make this spreadsheet. If you guys don't have many Excel skills, don't worry. Neither do I. A lot of these Excel skills that I've picked up are just from YouTube videos or information that I can find online. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys stay tuned in and subscribe if you enjoy the content or want to see me meet my goals or want to follow along with me as you meet your own goals. And I hope to see you on the next video.